Jason Tatum, 31 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds, a partridge in a pear tree. Boston steamrolls Dallas, who never led. The Mavericks never led in this game as Boston wins it 106-88, the final, and never in any real jeopardy. So that now the 18th all-time, going back to the Bill Russell Celtics, 18th championship, extending their record. Remember, the team that's chasing them, counting championships won in Minnesota. Those don't count real. And also a COVID championship, which doesn't count. So the Celtics are already way ahead. For some reason, the mainstream media, the fakers in the media, didn't want to acknowledge that. But Boston adding to their all-time record 18 championships, legitimate championships, not bogus, fake championships like the other team claims. So Jaylen Brown, 21 points. He had 8 rebounds and 6 assists as well. But he takes home a trophy of his own. He was named the Finals MVP. Kristaps Porzingis returned and didn't play well at all. He was a decoy, although you wouldn't know that from the breathless media reporting. But he missed a couple of games, dislocated tendon in his left ankle. He chipped in all of 5 points in 17 minutes. But he played! He played! Oh, he played! He played! All right, so let us discuss the question. Let's get right to the MVP conversation. The game was not competitive. Dallas, gutless basketball. They were the frauds we thought they were. But the conversation about the MVP. So are you okay? Here's the question. Are you okay with Jaylen Brown being named the MVP? I've got shark fin, snowplow, and all-you-can-eat buffet. And we will combine all of these things together, and we're going to make the bird, because the bird is the word. And the bird, not Larry Bird, because he's not walking through that door. No, he's not, because he's living a quiet life in Indiana. But to answer the question, are you okay with Jaylen Brown winning the MVP? Yes, we approve that message. Now, we were worried, based on some chatter, that the vote would be swayed at the last minute, that people would be prisoners of the moment when it comes to the NBA Finals. And there was this grassroots, Jason Tatum should win the MVP of the Finals. We found that to be fraudulent. We're satisfied that Jaylen Brown, who deserved and earned the MVP honors, was given the MVP, because my memory, and I watched every one of these games, I was paid to do it, but I watched every one of these games, and my recollection, going back to the beginning of this series, was the difference maker that put Boston in the pace car to win the championship was Jaylen Brown. He flexed his muscle early and often those first 3 games when Boston took a chokehold. Now, neither Tatum nor Brown showed up in Game 4, so that's a wash, and their numbers were pretty similar in Game 5, so it works out. Now, that being said, this is not an underdog story. I don't want to hear it. Talk to the hand. Just talk to. It's not an underdog story. It's not. This is not a rags to riches story for Jaylen Brown. It's not. So let's put the kibosh on that as well. Jaylen Brown is earning the money that he got. He's doing what he's supposed to do. You don't get extra credit for doing what you're supposed to do. Jaylen Brown is in the midst of a $300+ million super-duper max contract. He's a 3-time All-Star and was on the All-NBA team a couple years ago. So, if you look at the menu here, no chicken soup for the soul on the menu. That is not on the menu. This is more of a high-end shark fin soup. Very expensive. I'm told that's the most expensive soup. I've never had it because I don't want to eat shark, but I don't like seafood, but shark fin soup. You ever had that? I've never had that, but supposedly very expensive. And they've got the shark fin in there. They've got the Chinese black mushrooms in that thing and imported scallops. Oh, man, sounds terrible. All right, now, page 2. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Does the Jason Tatum-led Celtic team of this season count as an all-time great NBA team? They are the champions of the world. But are they an all-time team? Is that how you're going to remember this team? So my vote on this is thumbs down. I'm going thumbs down on this. And but you look at the raw numbers. Yeah, but. It's like Mike Martz, the old coach of the Rams. Yeah, but. What about this? Yeah, but. All right, so let's play the Yabbit game. So Boston caps the postseason. They end up going 16-3. The loss they had in the finals, they were trailing at one point by 48 points in that game. They really wanted to take that game off, and they did. But 16-3, that's the overall record in the postseason for the Celtics. They end up going 80-21. They played 101 games, and not counting the practice games before the season. Of course, the regular season these days in the NBA is a lot of practice games. But 80-21, the 792 winning percentage. There's a lot of numbers here. Just follow along. The winning percentage for this Celtic team at 792 is second in that franchise's history, which is the gold standard for basketball and winning, the Celtics. And so the only team that finished with a better winning percentage, everything added up, the Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Danny Ainge, Dennis Johnson Celtics at 85-86, going way back. They finished 82-18 in their stretch of game. So it's a nice feather in the cap. It's a It's a standalone situation. The Celtics have been knocking on the door here, this group of Celtic players, for several years. Got to the finals, lost to Golden State. Shoulda, coulda, woulda gotten to the finals last year, and except they didn't. They gagged against the Miami Heat in that playoff series, as I recall. So anyway, listen, here's the deal. Perception is reality. The perception is this team is not worthy of being included on that level in the book of legends. It's just not reality. But reality is based on perception, which has the Celtics team this particular playoff run guided by a guardian angel who is driving the snowplow, clearing the road. I said, well, you don't need a snowplow. It's June. I get it. But the metaphor is the same, clearing the road, clearing the way here. And you get a little snap over here, a crackle over here, and a pop over here, and ta-da! Yes, how a championship road was paved. All right, last word here. So is it true? Is it true that it is actually good? It is actually good for the NBA that the Mavericks lost, that they went down in flames? The answer to that question is yes. I'm nodding my head. Yes, that it is outstanding. I was so happy that this terrible Dallas team lost. I loved it. And we can all get together and go to the 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week, all-you-can-eat buffet of Schadenfreude. And we can celebrate the Schadenfreude. It always warms my cockles. I don't even know what that means. But it warms my heart. To see the bad guys lose. And make no mistake, they're the bad guys, the Dallas Mavericks in this. And the media tries to soft sell it because that's what the basketball media does. They think they're part of the team, and they bunch of weasels. But never forget that this Maverick team, the final piece that they believe got them to the finals, was built on tanking. Tanking. No integrity. They tanked a year ago, had a shot, long shot to make the playoffs. They tanked in an effort to get a higher draft pick. They drafted Derek Lively. That's who they got. They also have the most unlikable schmuck I know in Kyrie Irving. Are you a sucker? Do you think he's changed his ways? I don't. Are you a gullible fool? Because I'm not. I'm not going to fall for his act. What more do you need, right? What more do you need? Kyrie Irving, a loser. And the reason they lost, make no mistake, if Kyrie Irving had actually shown up and performed at a high level, this series would have gone much further. But he didn't. And he couldn't handle the Boston fans. He crumbled in every single game in Boston. Every single one. He sucked at a time you cannot suck. He rode the vomit comet. And just in general, this Maverick team, you talk about the definition of a fluke, the epitome of a fluke. That's the Mavericks. I'm not impressed at all with this Dallas team against the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard got hurt in that series. OKC and Minnesota were regular season paper tigers. They're not legit. The regular season teams that were exposed. And Dallas, listen, I don't think they're going to be back in the finals anytime soon. I don't. Well, they have Luka. I don't see it. I do not see it. This is a tinderbox of a situation. They weren't even that good this year. They were the number 5 seed for a reason. They were the number 5 seed for a reason. And they were absolutely pantsed right over Lucky the Leprechaun in the finals. They were pantsed by Boston. Now, as for the future, as a distant relative of Nostradamus and friend of Nostradamus, you look into the crystal ball at this time based on the information we have right now, and it is a house of cards. It is a house of cards situation. The pillars of this team in Dallas, and you can call me on this if you want and say I'm nuts. I don't think I am. The pillars, the core of this Maverick team, you've got Kyrie Irving, who's one interview with Joe Rogan or a social media post away from self-destructing. That's what he does. That's what he is. That's his essence. All right, then you've got Luka Doncic, who is more likely to overdose at a Krispy Kreme donut shop than he is to return to the promised land anytime soon in the NBA. So that's the Mavericks. Good luck and goodbye.